We all know someone like this. The person who can't get through a conversation without turning it back to themselves. Every story becomes their story. Every moment becomes their moment. Their life seems polished, busy, and carefully displayed, especially online. At first, it's easy to roll your eyes and call it ego or vanity. But what if it isn't pride at all? What if that constant need to be noticed comes from something much deeper, something quieter, something painful? What if the hunger for admiration is really a way to silence an inner emptiness? Many people confuse attention-seeking with confidence. They assume that someone who talks about themselves often must feel secure. But real confidence doesn't need an audience. It doesn't beg to be seen. It doesn't panic when the spotlight moves away. This is a deeper story about why some people need admiration the way others need air. It's not about judging or labeling. It's about understanding what drives this behavior beneath the surface. When you understand the psychology behind it, you start seeing those patterns differently. You stop taking them personally. You stop reacting emotionally. And you begin to see the quiet wound hiding behind the performance. There's a big difference between wanting appreciation and needing admiration. Appreciation is healthy. It connects us. When someone thanks you or notices your effort, it feels good because it affirms connection. Admiration is different when it becomes a need. It stops being about warmth and starts becoming survival. Instead of being a bonus, it becomes a requirement. Without it, the purpose feels empty, restless, or even invisible. Think of self-worth like a cup. For someone emotionally healthy, that cup is filled from the inside. It holds self-respect, self-acceptance, and a quiet belief that they matter even on bad days. Compliments are just extra, nice, but not necessary. For someone who needs admiration, that cup leaks. No matter how much praise you pour in, it never stays full. Compliments give a big lift, but the feeling fades fast. Soon, they need more. That's why one kind word can't compete with one moment of disapproval. A single ignored post or critical comment can erase 10 compliments. The approval never sticks because it isn't rooted inside. This creates a painful cycle. They chase validation to feel okay, but it never lasts. And deep down, they don't fully believe the praise anyway. A quiet voice whispers, if they really knew me, they wouldn't say that. That emptiness usually starts early. Most people who depend on admiration didn't choose it. They adapted to it. Many grew up in homes where love was conditional. Praise came when they performed well. Good grades, good behavior, good results brought attention. But mistakes brought silence, disappointment, or distance. The lesson became clear early. I am lovable when I impress. Others grew up emotionally unseen. No praise, no warmth, no real attention. They learned that being loud, dramatic, or impressive was the only way to be noticed at all. In both cases, the message was the same. Being yourself isn't enough. You have to earn love. So they learned to perform, to shine, to present a version of themselves that would be accepted. Over time, that performance hardened into identity. This is where the hunger for admiration is born. It isn't selfishness, it's survival learned too early. For some, this pattern grows into something deeper and more rigid. They don't just enjoy praise, they depend on it. Without it, their sense of self begins to collapse. These individuals often appear confident, charming, or impressive on the surface. They may seem larger than life, but underneath that image is often shame they don't know how to face. The admiration acts like oxygen. It keeps the image alive. Without it, the inner emptiness rushes in. That's why they seek attention constantly, not because they feel superior, but because they feel fragile. They may exaggerate achievements, shape stories to look better, or need to be the center of every room, not to dominate, but to survive emotionally. Others express this need differently. Instead of wanting to be admired as the best, they just need to be seen at all. They fear invisibility more than criticism. Being ignored feels unbearable. These people may be dramatic, expressive, emotional, or constantly performing. Attention, even negative attention, feels better than being unseen. At least it proves they exist in someone's mind. In both cases, the core wound is the same: a fear of being nothing without external reflection. Modern life has poured fuel on this fire. Social media turns attention into numbers, likes, views, shares, follow accounts, all measurable, all addictive. Every notification gives a small rush of validation, a quick hit of "you matter." But like sugar, it fades fast and leaves you wanting more. For someone already hungry for approval, these platforms become emotional slot machines. Post, refresh, wait, hope, repeat. The system rewards performance, polish, and constant visibility. It quietly teaches that being seen equals being valuable, and being ignored equals failure. This trains people to curate instead of live, to perform instead of feel, to shape moments for applause rather than meaning. Over time, the gap grows wider. The online version looks confident and fulfilled. The inner world feels anxious and empty. The applause gets louder, but the silence afterward feels heavier. Living this way takes a toll. Relationships start to suffer first. Conversations become one-sided. Others begin to feel like an audience instead of equals. People close to them may feel drained, unseen, or used. Everything circles back to validation. Support becomes one-directional. Inside, the person chasing admiration lives in constant tension. always managing their image, always afraid the attention will fade, always wondering if there's still enough. Even success doesn't bring peace. Achievements turn into pressure. Praise becomes a trap. The mask gets heavier with time. And the cruel twist is this: the more they perform, the less real connection they feel. Because deep down, they know people are applauding the image and not the truth. That awareness creates loneliness even in crowds. Seeing this clearly doesn't mean excusing harmful or manipulative behavior. Boundaries still matter. Accountability still matters. But the understanding changes how we hold the story. It replaces judgment with clarity. It helps us see that behind the need to be admired is often a child who never felt enough. And for those who recognize this pattern in themselves, there is another path. A quieter one, a harder one, but a healing one. It begins with learning to sit with yourself without applause, learning to build worth from values instead of reactions, learning to give yourself the approval you kept chasing from others. But that work takes time. It's slow, it's private, and it doesn't look impressive on the outside, but it creates something very, very real. The need to be admired is not a moral failure. It's a signal, a sign that something inside learned to survive through performance instead of safety. Understanding this helps you see people more clearly. It helps you respond with boundaries instead of resentment, with awareness instead of judgment. Your worth does not come from attention. It doesn't rise or fall with praise. It exists even in silence, even when no one is watching. And if you see pieces of yourself in this, know this: you are not broken. You learn what you had to learn to survive. And you can learn something new at this present time. The real work begins when you stop chasing the mirror and start building a foundation. One that doesn't depend on applause. One that stays steady, even when the room goes quiet. I understand this phenomenon quite clear, especially when I was involved in bodybuilding, and I would see guys come to the gym every day, or most days during the week, depending on their schedule, and they would train with the weights so hard. And I often ask myself, for those who competed in competitions, and even for those who didn't, what are they doing this for? But look at me, I was there. And I had a sense of self-worth. I was confident. I did other things before I got involved with that. But it scared me when I saw imbalances in other people. And I said, well, let me check myself to make sure I'm doing this for the right reasons. I was doing it for health. I was doing it to be able to perform better on a physical level in normal everyday tasks. And I enjoyed the feel that came with having your body in a state that was above average than most people. But as I began to see imbalances in many others who were doing this for many decades, who were doing it for years before I was even born, it scared me. And I didn't want to end up like these people, with a fabulous body, getting all the attention, going to the competitions and flexing on stage in nothing more than not a G-string, but a little more than that. You were basically naked in front of a crowd, and they came to see physical excellence. But when I got to know many of these people who were known all over for their physical development and their fame in the bodybuilding world, I began to realize that many of them, not all, but many of them, were physically great, physically impressive, but emotionally needy, spiritually reduced, and mentally drained. It scared me. So back in April of 1985, I went into my last contest, my last competition. And I told all of my friends, I said, this is it for me. I'm not doing this anymore. They say, what do you've been doing this for years. You're doing good. You got all those trophies. Look at you, man. What do you mean? What happened? I said, nothing happened except the realization of where my life is going. Because that is extremely hard work, lots of sacrifice. And I didn't want to sacrifice a full life for something so narrow. Now, there are guys that I know that live balanced lives of family. You know, they worked, they had their family, they had their private time that I can get with. But the things that I saw over time scared me. And this is about the attention-seeking individual, which many were seeking attention. And it should be for the self-fulfillment and achievement from within. But to seek that type of attention, and this can be in any area of expertise, to seek that type of attention and grossly neglect the other parts of your life. It's like trying to have one perfect tire on your vehicle, but the other three are not on your vehicle. They don't exist. How are you going to drive the car with one tire? So I saw how there were men who had fabulous bodies. They looked manly, but they were using women because they didn't want to work. I saw guys who were taking substances that would later on haunt them with their health as they got older. I saw men who sold themselves to get money. They sold themselves to other men. Again, at the end, it's so they can preserve themselves or ascend themselves into a better physical condition so they can get that attention on the bodybuilding stage. Now, I'll cut the bodybuilding talk. This is not about bodybuilding. It is something I know personally and have psychoanalyzed for many, many years. Even though I still follow that particular, can I call it a sport? It's more like a pageant. I understand more so that I'm studying the minds behind the great physiques who do things to their bodies that are dangerous and cutting their lives short for a trophy and applause and a paycheck. They're winnings that don't justify what they spent to get to that point. How did we get this way? What made us this way? That's the way I always think. As a person who used to collect, thousands and thousands of comic books, it was always impressive. It was always what we wanted to know when we saw a superhero. How did you get that way? So we always wanted to get the comic that, I was going to say magazine, right? It is a magazine that explained the origin of the Fantastic Four, the origin of the Hulk, of the Avengers, of Spider-Man, Submariner, whoever it was, X-Men. We see them in their magic powers, but how did they get these magic powers and how did they get to the point that they were in? So with my love for the research and study of human nature, I always ask, how did this person get this way? And after a while, when you come across people who have similar personalities, They may not all be the same because no two people are the same, but when you see these types of personalities in grown adults, pretty much you know there's certain factors that are there. There's certain variables that are common across the board, and you test for them, you look to see them. I know this guy who is extremely insecure every time he sees me. In a conversation, he has to cut me off. He has to talk over me. And I let a person talk, but as soon as you get 3 words out, you're getting cut. That's extreme insecurity. And I understand the attention they seek because, you see, I found out that in their childhood, they didn't have much as far as that validation. And even as this individual got older, his own family didn't want anything to do with him. So that's going to create extreme insecurity, and you want to present it as confidence. You want to present it as being a man and being manly. And it's sad because in the midnight hour, you think you're not good enough. So me now, who was raised with love and affirmations and validations before being into the outside world and in that journey as an adult, I don't have that need. I don't have that need. And there's a lot of things I can talk about in my life that were labeled as great or something good, but I don't have to have the stage that way. I like to observe and learn from situations around me. But when you have a person like that around you, try to understand them. Try to understand that it's not their fault and they're only making up for a hollow void on the inside. It can be annoying, but once you understand them, mentally, you can put them in their place and you have a little pity for them, a little empathy for them. Because it's got to be a sad state of mind to be in. But this world, we make up this world with all different types of people, and they all have their passcode, so to say. They all have their lock that needs to be figured out with the right key of understanding and wisdom, right? So we're all puzzles to a certain point, but after being on a puzzle for a while, you begin to put puzzles together better. It's like this little game I play on my phone. What is it called? Ball Sort. And it's a bunch of test tubes that have different color balls that are dropped in, and they're all over the place, right? Might be 5 or 6 different colors, and you have to arrange them where each test tube has one color in it, and it's not easy. But after doing this for so long, I can guarantee you I can figure this thing out. Anyone you give me, I got it under a minute. Under a minute. No problem, because I learned the feeling dynamics of the game. So when you learn the feeling dynamics of those around you, you already know what you're seeing. When you get older and you have experience in this thing, and experience with human nature and different types of odd spirits and entities that come around you, they may bedazzle you with a false veneer, a false outside, right? But after a while, you can decode them and figure out what it is. Just the same way with online personalities. They say certain things about their life, but it can't be, because if their life was this way, they wouldn't be online so much. Me, myself, I have all the time in the world. I'm retired, I'm home. I do so many other things. This is like the smallest segment of my life, and I'm still online a lot. You have to be content and happy with what you're building from within, and not try to present something that's not you, that still doesn't give you the satisfaction, because you know the image that you're putting out that people love when you're online, that's curated. It's not you. It may look like you. It may be an amplification of you. It's you filling in the gaps of certain voids that you have inside. But the applause is not for you, and you know that. So just be real. You can maintain consistency over a very long time if you're just honest and open with yourself. Of course, you're not going to tell everybody your social security number. You're not going to tell everybody the PIN code to your debit card. You're not going to tell everybody every single thing about you. There's certain things you want to keep private, but the bottom line, vibe as you are. That's why I'm so happy to say that in 8 more weeks, I've been online as a content creator and an artist and a blogger writing for 25 years. Boy, has the time flown. And like I said the other day, when I ended the video, that was just a warm-up. But it's taught me so much about human beings, how they can shock you, how they can fool you, no matter how sharp you are. Nobody likes to get deceived, but we get better. But there's always a situation that will deceive us, and never think you know everything. This is why I'm always in search of knowledge and getting more keen and sharpening my gift of discernment, because there are a lot of people out here who they're not really what they appear to be. Fraudulent people, deceptive people, the attention-grabbing people like we're speaking about. If we can shed all of that stuff and get away from what social media has brought into our lives, and so many of us, we just want attention. For what? What does it mean? I'm used to it. I'm built for it, but I don't need it. I will quickly let somebody else talk for hours on this platform and not need to say a word. But if there's nobody there, I'm going to do it. But I'm the quiet guy that likes to draw pictures and write articles and be out in nature. Speaking about being out in nature, it's dark now. I'm 5 hours ahead of the East Coast in the United States, but I'm still going to go out there on that balcony and soak in some good air, some fresh oxygen from these trees and these plants, and think deeply on how I would like to conduct my day tomorrow. So that being said, thank you for coming through. I hope this was interesting for you. I'm always going to try to keep varied topics that are interesting, that can give you insight, as well as the other stuff. And we're still going to have fun on this platform. It's not going to be rigid. It's just walking through life, holding hands. That didn't sound right. Listen, brothers, I love you. I ain't holding hands walking the street. It's with the sisters. But we walk side by side with my brothers, right? I'm holding hands with the sisters. Yeah, that sounds a lot better. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. Much love to you all. LANCESCURV out. On to the next one. We're going to keep this work going tonight. I'm going to go until I drop. Make sure, once again, to go to LANCESCURVX.com. LANCESCURVX.com. You got to see it in front of you on the screen somewhere, right? You have to sign up there with your email. There's no charge, but you will get everything that we do here delivered right into your inbox, and you won't feel as though you're missing stuff because YouTube is in their feelings in a particular day. They do that with me sometime. So we'll work around YouTube. You go to LANCESCURVX.com, sign up. Whatever I do here on YouTube and beyond, because there's other things I'll be doing, it'll get right in your inbox. So we'll have a direct relationship. All right? Much love to you all. Take care. LANCESCURV out. Peace.